I'm not going to fall for it. Okay. This week, we have finally gotten around to a movie that we really wanted to do.
For a long time.
Yes. But we, just more recent films and, with interviews and stuff. But, yeah, we think you're going to like it. It's an awesome one.
How can you not like it?
Seriously, how can you not? Before we get into this, though, so the episode was recorded last night, Sunday night. This is Monday night. Today, we learned that Max von Sydow passed away at age 90. So we just wanted to mention that because talk about another great actor with a super storied career. First thing people think of is Exorcist. I'm sorry, but I'll just always remember him as Ming the Merciless in Flash Gordon. That was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So many other great films that he has done. So it's
Game of Thrones.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're just sorry to see him go. It's the old guard is leaving us. So we just want to say, thank you, Max, for decades of super awesome entertainment and acting skill. So with that, I think we're going to jump into our episode and talk about this great movie.
This phenomenal cultural icon, wonderful film.
Yup. Here's a hint. Midnight Movies. Shall we roll it?
Let's do it.
All right, we're off. Hey, B-Siders. Welcome back to another episode of Bravo for the B-Side. I'm Jim.
I'm Danny.
And we're sitting here tonight, a little battered.
A little bit.
We decided to rearrange the living room. And, I don't know what your house is like, but I'm sure some people out there have an appreciation for what that involves. The amount of work, moving things around.
Yeah. We have hundreds of books.
Yes. And that's a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to unload at least half of every bookshelf to move it. And then it's still heavy, but you don't want to unload all of it.
Well, because then you have to reload it.
Then you got to put all those goddamn books back. We love our books.
Yeah.
Oh, but oh man.
There's a lot of them.
And it's a lot of up and down that little step ladder too.
Yeah, it's true. And we downsized a lot too, but.
Yeah, I know. Oh, anyway, so we're going to power through this. We have a movie that we have been waiting and waiting and waiting to get to.
Mm-hmm.
And we finally did.
We did.
We love this fucking movie. And odds are you do too.
It's one of the best movies ever made. Ever.
Absolutely. This is one of the biggest cult films ever.
Yes.
I'm not going to get into it, but at the end we are going to have a lot to talk about. I'll just say for a lot of people, this movie was literally a life changer.
Yeah.
There's when people have gone to see this, it has done so much for them. And we'll talk about that later. But
yes.
Why don't you tell us what it is we're getting into so we can dive into this monster?
Me?
Yeah, you.
I'm so excited. This week, we're going to talk about the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of you probably already know this information, but it was made in 1975. Directed by Jim Sharman. Written by Jim Sharman and Richard O'Brien.
Mm-hmm.
Starring the great Tim Curry.
Yeah.
Barry Bostwick.
Mm-hmm.
Susan Sarandon.
Oh, yeah.
Richard O'Brien himself.
The man.
Patricia Quinn.
Oh, yeah.
Meatloaf. Nell Campbell. otherwise known as Little Nell.
Her stage name.
Yeah. Peter Hinwood, Jonathan Adams, and Charles Gray.
Charles Gray.
Yeah.
Charles Gray has left us
Mhm.
some time ago.
Hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah. Also, have a few of these people.
Well, that's true. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It was rated R.
Yes, it was.
The budget was $1,200,000.
Mm-hmm.
So, pretty low budget.
For 1975, though, that was actually pretty big.
That's true.
But what before we go on, what makes this a B movie? A couple of things. Number one, it didn't really have like a national plan to like push this out.
Right.
They were capitalizing on the stage play in the UK,
which was very popular.
extremely popular.
Mhm.
And it actually just fucking bombed in the US. 20th Century Fox planned this big Halloween release,
Mhm.
and they canceled it because the audience turnouts were so low in the pre-screens and everything. And they immediately relegated it to college campuses,
Yeah.
student film, theaters. And that was the secret.
Yeah.
That was it. So yeah, it had a lot of sufferings, and we'll probably talk a little bit about some of the things we know about the problems that they had.
Well, it was wildly ahead of its time.
Oh, it still is.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the log line for this is a newly engaged couple have a breakdown in an isolated area and must seek shelter at the bizarre residence of Dr. Frankenfurter.
That is such a lovely, beautifully, articulately simple log line for what this movie is about.
Well, it's a bit of an understatement. And I think if I knew nothing about the movie and just read this log line, like in the TV guide,
Right.
I would probably pass.
Yeah, it's not a grabber, right?
No.
We've had some log lines that they might have been long,
Hmm.
but they certainly are like, well, I got to fucking get into this.
Yeah.
I need to know what this is about. This is this log line has less oomph than any Star Trek, the original series log lines. The Enterprise faces an enemy. Sure, why the fuck not? Go TV guide, go.
Yeah. Well, it makes me think of the totally off log line that went around the internet a few years ago about the Wizard of Oz, where it's like a young woman is transported to a new world and kills the first person she runs into, then teams up with friends to kill more.
Yes.
Yeah. Or to kill again.
And I loved that because I've always maintained, the Wizard of Oz is not a fucking kids movie. It is contract murder. It is a lot of deception and truly evil shit. And it's all glossed over because we have the beautiful Judy Garland.
Yeah.
And some whimsical characters
Mm-hmm.
and some shiny shoes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sparkly shoes.
Yeah. So apparently sending people to their death, murdering people. Oh, it's okay.
I know.
And Glenda, that bitch, the good witch, my ass.
I know. I won't even get you started on the wizard.
Fucking, yeah, please don't. We got a movie to talk about.
Okay.
All right. So let's start talking about this movie.
Let's do it.
Bring us in.
So it's going to be interesting to talk about this movie in terms of filmmaking rather than as a cultural icon, which is kind of what I was thinking as we were rolling into it.
Yeah.
Because I've always just watched it in the context of this is so fun for me to watch, and it's just wonderful all around, and I can sing along with everything.
Well, it's the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Well, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Going to showings.
Yeah, when you hit play, it's the Rocky Horror Picture Show. You don't think of it as anything else.
Right.
But yeah, doing it for that's why I wanted to do it for one of our episodes, because it's a movie.
Yes.
Doesn't matter its origins.
No.
And I want to, before I get into this, And well, go ahead.
Well, yeah, and doubly interesting because you and I can both basically recite it line by line in our sleep.
Yep.
And it's a musical, and we've never done a musical before.
We haven't, and that's what I was going to touch on. I hate musicals as a whole.
Yeah.
I just all these things out there, and if I see one more fucking commercial for Mamma Mia playing on some streaming service, I will probably kill 5 people. I can't stand it. And I grew up watching all this shit on, you know, I have so many musical lines in my head I shouldn't. Like from Oklahoma, you know.
I hate Oklahoma.
Right
I
here
like
in River
musicals
City,
in general.
you know.
Not a fan of Oklahoma.
Well, because my grandparents were heavily into them. That's
Okay.
where I spent most of my time growing up. And oh man. So in addition to going back to Lawrence Welk and watching all these old gangster movies and Cagney and, you know, Bogart and all this shit, musicals.
Yeah.
But I'll talk at the end about when I stumbled into Rocky Horror and how, you know.
Yeah.
So let's
A lot of ground to cover.
there is.
Yeah.
All right. So when you fire this bad boy up, we open with the iconic Lips delivering to us science fiction double feature, the title song. For those of you who don't know, and I can't imagine too many people do. I don't know. Maybe not. Those lips belong to Patricia Quinn, who plays Magenta.
Mm-hmm.
Lots to talk about that too.
Fabulous lips.
Yeah. The song is sung by Richard O'Brien. So he's the creator and writer of the Rocky Horror musical, and plays Riff Raff in the film. And this, I'll bring this up now. So Richard O'Brien, when he wrote the musical, was an unemployed actor. And we had talked about, we should stop using the term unemployed actor and just say he was an actor, because by virtue, all actors are unemployed. To differentiate, you say, I'm an employed actor. Instead of, well, I'm an unemployed actor. Well, no shit. It's a hard business, man.
Yeah.
But anyway, he, to kill his time and to say, fuck it, if I can't land a gig, I'm going to write my own shit.
Mm-hmm.
And Richard O'Brien grew up like so many others, especially in the UK. They had a larger funnel of these B movies and sci-fi things and, B horror movies than we did here.
Yes.
It's really weird. So, I mean, that opening song.
It's a love song to B movies.
It really is. There's so many fucking references. And the first time I heard it was like, I know that, I know her, I know him, I know that, I know her, I know him. Oh my God. So, I wrote down on my notes, it's like musical porn.
Well, yeah.
Or musical movie porn.
Mm-hmm.
To a geek like me. That was my thought. So to all of us who love it, that's what it is. And it doesn't hurt that the song and the music, like everything else in here, is just fucking great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt at all.
Yeah. So then after the credits roll, the movie starts.
Yep.
And there's a church, wedding music, a lot of people gathered around, and a couple exits of the church, and they're set upon by their friends and family. In the back, at the doors of the church, are some stony-faced looking eerie characters.
Yeah.
Dressed like American Gothic.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I know.
Because the wedding's a joyful thing.
Yes. The groom is talking to Brad, who, is our main guy, Barry Bostwick.
Love Barry.
Brad's girlfriend catches the bouquet and she's ecstatic about it, and the couple drives off. And we learn that Brad's girlfriend's name is Janet, because he starts singing a song to her called "Damn It, Janet."
Yep.
They're talking about how wonderful it is, and as they're walking and talking, Brad's, he nervously starts to break into the song,
mm-hmm.
and it's cute. He's kind of fumbling a little bit over it, and then once he's in it, though, he's like on Broadway.
Yeah. He's in it.
He's owning it. And it's a proposal song. And Janet's overjoyed.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, she's so overjoyed that she starts breaking into song too. And they decide that they need to go break the news or, like go thank their teacher who introduced them in science class.
Yep.
Dr. Scott.
Can't get nerdier than that.
Yeah. So.
And it's one of the things about this is I was taking the notes, and I didn't note all of them. I mean, there's just
too many.
You need to watch it a few times to catch all the little things. They add so much. So it's the attention to detail of these little things that increase the impact. So when he's singing, Brad draws a heart on the church doors, and as this whole number and they're moving and stuff, all of a sudden, the American Gothic couple just kind of slowly comes in, wipes it off in the background, and there's always little bits of shit going on in the background. And that was just kind of awesome. So, and that's playing the American Gothic couple is Patricia Quinn and Richard O'Brien.
Yes.
Not as Riff Raff and Magenta, but as the caretakers. So now then we're inside the church, and then we're joined by Nell Campbell, or Little Nell, who is also as dressed as a church caretaker. And the three of them are setting up for a funeral as the song progresses.
Yep.
So it's this, we're getting married. Oh, let's go share it with everything. And they're bringing out a tiny little casket. And
a really tiny coffin.
I know. That was not lost on me.
No.
And we listened to the comments.
Oh, yeah, the commentary.
On the latest one. I don't know if I should mention this, but I thought that casket was a little small.
I don't know what that says. Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, they're setting this all up and just kind of real monotone, chiming in on a chorus. Janet.
Oh yeah. Oh,
love it.
Yeah. So we cut to a criminologist.
Yes.
He's displaying the scene that was just happening on a projector. And he's going to bring us on a strange journey, he says.
Yes.
And he has some enviable bookshelves.
I love that you wrote that. Because they are magnificent.
I will always notice bookshelves.
I know it.
And he also has a very flashy cravat. And I like it. And he tells us that on their way to Dr. Scott's, they got a flat tire, which started their whole adventure and a night they wouldn't forget.
Indeed. So then we cut to Brad and Janet driving.
Mm-hmm.
They're listening to Nixon.
Yes.
On the radio. So it's a clear political statement put in the film. Lot
one of
statements went into this movie. Yeah. As there were in the musical. And oddly, it's something we'll talk about, but all that shit, the names might be different, but it's all so relevant today.
Yes.
As it was 45 years ago.
Yeah.
And as I wrote that, I had to write, 45 years ago, people. Rocky Horror is 45 years old.
Unbelievable.
If I were to just pick this up out of a bin or off a shelf and throw it in without looking at anything, I wouldn't have guessed it was that old.
No.
At most I'd been like, oh, it's a period piece. For some reason it's back in the 70s, 80s or something like that.
Right.
But yeah, it's
well, it still looks great.
It does. And I mean, it's still going. So let's all right. So motorcycle passes them in the rain. And Brad, of course, calls that type reckless.
Right.
Yeah. So if there's any more straight-laced vanilla white people ever in cinema, it's Brad and Janet. So they come to a road closed, dead end sign. So he starts to back up and he hits something and the tire pops. And they spot a castle in the distance.
In Denton, Ohio.
So they're going to go seek help. And again, this is Denton, Ohio. I've been to Denton.
Yeah.
It makes for a fantastic joke.
It does. Yeah. It's funny because it's not the only movie to have ever put a castle in the middle of nowhere in America.
I know what you're going to bring up. Do it.
Oh, now the name is escaping me. What is the name? I can't.
The ninth.
Oh, the Ninth Configuration.
Yes.
Yeah. Love that movie.
I know.
Love it so much.
Well, it's as out there on a different spectrum.
Yeah, a lot of people have probably never heard of it.
Than this is.
It is.
Than Rocky Horror was. Yeah.
Yeah. It's wonderful.
It is.
But it takes place in a castle in the Pacific Northwest of America.
Yep.
You guys, America doesn't have like any real castles.
Nope. The only actual real castles are some people have had them deconstructed and brought over one brick at a time, like London Bridge.
Yeah.
Right? And then reassembled,
There are some cool houses.
Yeah.
And some people have built some things that are like castles.
But yeah, this is not just like a castle structure. It's the whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
It's the main castle building, the walls, the in-buildings, the outbuildings.
Yeah.
Yep. Just everything.
Sure.
Owned by the military.
Yeah.
Of course.
Why not? Anyway.
Yeah.
Back to Rocky Horror. They come upon a sign. So they're approaching the castle. And there's a sign at the gate that says, "Enter at your own risk." And it's pretty creepy looking. And they kind of look at it and then they just walk past it.
Of course.
They don't even say anything about it.
No. they give it a good look. Like you can see, they see it. Like,
Yeah. And we get some like cheesy 50 movie vibes with lightning. And these were intentional.
Yes.
And then they start another song.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, as they're coming up, it's over at the Frankenstein place.
Well, there's a light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the song has been known by either of those names.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It's a great song. They're all great songs. But despite the many clear red flags as they're approaching the castle, our plucky little couple doesn't stop. And another character starts singing from an upstairs window, very high.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I love it's Richard O'Brien in the window.
Yes, it is.
And I love that creepy image, of just a face in a window contrasts with the really optimistic tones of the song that they're singing.
It is very sinister. That was magnificently done visually.
Yeah.
Because in the window, it's just like the one light, like a candle, the soft orange glow, lots of shadow. It's only hitting him from one side. And then he's that sort of darkness.
Yes.
And then the lightning. And it lights him up real quick. And he even looks more sinister somehow, well lit.
Yes.
Right? And then as the lightning fades, he creeps away from the window as he sings out his line. That was magnificent.
It was beautiful.
Yeah. And Richard O'Brien's voice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my fucking God. That's a voice for the ages. They should record him, or should have. And just recordings of his voice, talking, singing, everything should be put into some sort of, I don't know, compendium, audio compendium, and stored in the National Archives.
So unique.
I know. It's magnificent. All right. So after that, they reach the castle. They ring the bell. Riff Raff opens the door with one of the most memorable lines in movie history. Hello.
That was great.
Oh, thank you. So Brad introduces himself and Janet and asks to use the phone. I love this. Riff Raff responds, "You're wet." Yes.
Yes.
They reply. And so he invites them inside. And then we hear some muffled, noise coming from somewhere in the castle. Obviously, party, lots of conversation.
Yeah.
Some undertones and stuff. And it's a party going on. Janet's frightened because, in the old sci-fi horror movies that this is tribute to, in
Yeah.
the 50s and 60s, the women are always frightened,
Yeah, of like everything.
right? And look to their man,
Mm-hmm.
even someone like fucking Brad, who doesn't look like he could defend himself against himself,
Brad.
And Brad says it's just probably a hunting lodge for witch weirdos. Janet asks if it's a party, and Riff Raff says they've arrived on a very special night. The master's having one of his affairs.
Mm-hmm.
And Janet says he's lucky. And then we meet Magenta, who has been sitting motionless, laying on the railing, on the stairs on the side of the crane.
She slid down.
Yep. And, she's, you're lucky, we're lucky, you're all lucky,
Mm-hmm.
And then,
Riff Raff starts out the time warp.
yes.
Yeah. Probably the most famous song from this movie.
Easily. It's the only song that had hardcore MTV play.
Yeah.
They cut this section of the film out and ran it as a music video.
That's awesome.
I know.
The singular focus of the camera work is really a treat in the song, which is probably why they just cut it out and made it into a music video.
Yes.
Because, we talked about it before. A person can watch this 100 times and still catch something new every time.
Right.
But there's never-ending flow of movement.
Mm-hmm.
And this song really showcases it very well. But it's throughout the whole film.
Right.
This film is just like boom, go, ba, 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 constantly, right? And the camera is so perfect in catching all of that.
Yes.
At the right angles and the right frames and the timing. It's great.
It's stellar.
It is.
It is, I would say, at the very least, in the top 5 of best camera work ever,
Yeah.
beginning to end through a film.
Mm-hmm.
There are those movies that are like, man, that fucking scene was awesome. The rest of it was just average. This was brilliant because it's a musical. Like I said, it has movement
Mm-hmm.
throughout, and it's never dizzying.
Nope.
It's fun. It's chaotic when it's supposed to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's fucking brilliant.
And even the criminologist is caught up in the song.
Yeah.
He starts singing and dancing it, which is a really interesting kind of fourth wall break.
Yeah.
Because he's already breaking the fourth wall, right? Kind of.
Well, he's talking directly to us.
Right, he's narrating.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But he's the narrator, and
It's like a reverse.
he's talking out of the past
Right.
because he's got his file. This was the Denton affair.
Yeah. Well, it's like a reverse fourth wall break.
Yeah.
Like he's breaking into the movie
Yeah.
as the narrator.
That's an excellent way of putting it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of cool.
Sweet. So, the song, the dance, the criminologist giving us the steps. If you don't know it, you got to watch the movie. Can't describe the whole number for you, but it is what it is. This is the song that can play anywhere at any party and people will fucking jam.
Sing and
Right.
dance.
Yeah. And one of the things, here's another one of those little moments, right? So while delivering his lines and stuff, you see Riff Raff pick up a donut. He just kind of wipes it off on his sleeve and real slowly hands it out to Brad and Janet. And at that point, part of his part of the song, he's gets really loud. He throws
Yeah.
the donut, but I just love that little thing. And then we get to Columbia.
Mm-hmm.
So this is Little Nell.
Yep.
Nell Campbell. And it's brilliant. She has her chorus, and then she goes into a beautiful tap routine. And then we have the chorus again, the criminologist, who is all up in it by this time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's, on the deck, just going nuts. And then we have the wind down. Everyone hits the floor. And, of course, Brad and Janet are thinking of getting out of there, so they're backing up. And then the famous line, "I'm cold, I'm wet, and I'm just plain scared," by Janet,
Yeah.
and behind them, we have one of the old lift elevators coming down. And then we hear the boom, 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 boom. And the people, the Transylvanians, and everybody, Riff Raff, Columbia, Magenta, all of them on the floor start lifting their heads up.
Yep.
Looking towards them. And then we see it, the close up of the high heel platform boot tapping.
Sparkly.
Boom, boom, boom. And, and then we see the fishnets after the tapping foot. And then, bam, we have Tim Curry, Dr. Frankenfurter.
Yes.
And we are all of a sudden knee deep in the song Sweet Transvestite.
It's one of the most fantastic entrances.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
In film. Ever.
I don't think anyone alive or fictional comes close to that entrance. And so at the tail end of the song, he invites Brad and Janet to stay the night and join him in revealing the man that he has been making. And then, of course, one of the famous, this has been on T-shirts, cups, and everything, Tim Curry. I'm not even trying to pretend to do Tim Curry. Because it won't be, but, the line, come up to the lab and see what's on the slab. Mm-hmm. Oh, it just warms my heart.
I feel like I need a Rocky Horror Picture Show shirt. Why don't I have one already?
Right?
All right.
Yeah, we'll talk about that kind of thing later, too. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So he goes back up, and Riff Raff and Magenta are tending to Brad and Janet. They grab some towels, some bloody towels.
I know. Drying them off.
They're drying them off and removing all of their wet clothes except their underwear.
Right.
Which for Brad is literally just briefs.
Yeah.
And for Janet is a bra and her, what is like a modesty underskirt? I don't know.
Slip?
A slip? Yeah, I think
or
that's
a quarter slip.
A slip.
Can't remember how long her dress was.
Know.
Anyway, her knees are showing with the slip though, so I think it's a half slip.
I don't know. They then hustle them into the elevator, and Riff Raff has got a bottle.
Yeah, he's drinking from the bottle.
And he just drops it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like it's this really strange look. I love Richard O'Brien so much.
And Riff Raff and Magenta explain that they're Frankie's servants.
Right. So we get up to the lab, and Frank is in his scrubs dress, which I thought was awesome looking.
Yes.
So it's a dress made of scrubs, wearing the pink triangle on the chest that was used in Nazi camps to designate, homosexuals, which when I saw this, and at the end, I'll reveal how old I was when I first saw this. But even then I knew what a powerful statement that was. I'm going to take a little sideways trip here. This is the kind of thing where we're having talks today about this stuff, not just, homosexuality and all of the bigotry, racism, the whole, everyone attacking everything, right? The whole thing of, instead of not showing it, show it.
Yeah.
Own it. Make it yours. If you take it away from the assholes, then it becomes meaningless. It becomes what you want it to mean, and it no longer becomes what they want it to mean. And this comes with words and, thoughts and everything.
And nothing gets under their skin more than something like that.
Right. You've got somebody, using, I'll say the N-word, right? If you take away from them what they want it to mean, it pisses them off.
Yep.
Because it's meaningless. And how many times have we seen this in movies? Spike Lee is good about putting this in films, and a lot of directors and actors and activists, that's my word.
Well, yeah.
That's my word. You can, what you're saying doesn't mean shit because I own it now.
Well, it de-weaponizes it.
It does. And it's not like it's been done, meaning it's succeeded, right? Because we're still fighting these battles.
Well, yeah.
Whether it's, like I said, words of racism, religious intolerance, bigotry, hatred, against all and I'm going to admit I have a hard time with the super long string of letters that it's become, because when I was little, it was just gay and lesbian, so now it's the LGBTQT or TQ, either way. But there's even longer ones. I just can't remember all that much.
Yeah,
but
there's
anyway,
a spectrum.
Well, and here it is. This was an awesome thing in this movie in 1975. And anyone watching this movie, if this passed you over, and that's fine because you're watching a movie, you don't notice every little thing on every little piece of stitch of everything. But think about it, and understand, make it your own, right? Because we will have a world one day where, regardless of your sexual identity, however you want to phrase it, anyone included in that massive sphere, take it and own it, because one day we will win this, right?
Yeah.
And there won't be a need for these. That's my big thing. I understand why they're being used. I would like to, before I die, see the day where we don't differentiate anymore. Are you non-binary? Are you transvestite? Are you transsexual? Are you, gay? Are you homosexual? Are you lesbian? All the different terms where it doesn't fucking matter. We won't think to ask. John is John. Mary is Mary. Doesn't matter what they began as, right?
Yeah.
Physically. Doesn't matter what their attractions are, their predilections are. None of that.
Right.
It's just, hey man, hey, what's up, dude? Hey. And leave it at that. So there's my soapbox.
Okay.
Because I just thought that was just so super powerful. All right, back into the movie. Once we get past the dress. Brad and Janet introduce themselves. And I love this. Brad accidentally introduces his fiancée, Janet Weiss, as Janet Weiss. Another statement. So Brad is now being manly in a nerdy way because he's talking about tattoos and stuff, and we just want to get a blah, blah, blah.
Well, he's feeling emasculated.
Yeah. Well, he's wearing Hollywood underwear. I can't help but feel sorry for him because anyone who wears tighty whities knows that they don't come up to just an inch below your nipples. That's a girdle. Or a corset. He's wearing the giant, underwear.
They're not flattering.
They're not. And it's funny because of what this movie's about, that they have these you can't, it's like to hide every, there's statues all over the place with testicles and penises hanging out. But God help us if we see one of the actors, right?
Yeah.
Have any kind of physical construction between his legs. But yet Susan Sarandon is just one uncontrolled hop away from her nipples popping out of that bra.
Well, yeah.
It wasn't a 60s bra.
Yeah.
They look like the big dunce cones.
Yeah. Well, and noticeably all of their undergarments are just plain white.
Right.
Like her bra isn't particularly fancy.
No, but it is revealing.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, because she's jiggling and joggling, like I said. Well, I mean, and that's just it, But then, she's wearing the slip.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Frank is, hitting him up about tattoos. And he asks Brad if he's got a tattoo. And Brad looks at him like he's just been asked to kill his dog. Certainly not. And when he asks Janet, she just giggles.
Mm-hmm. So he thoughtfully gives them some lab coats to wear. And the Transylvanians are watching from a ramp that kind of goes around this very pink lab. And I love the lab.
Yeah. It's very
beautiful
50s.
Set. Yeah.
In its design. Yeah, it is beautiful though.
Yeah. And Frank announces that he's going to unveil his creation. He knows the secret to life. And he snaps on some pink dishwashing gloves.
It was a nice touch. Even snaps them.
Yeah. And he has Magenta and Columbia unveil the tank. So they pull the cloth off of the tank.
Yep.
And inside is a body wrapped in bandages like a mummy.
Mm-hmm.
He tells Riff Raff to turn on some. He has names for the equipment. And I know, they're supposed to sound like cheesy 50s names for sci-fi equipment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a chandelier comes down from the ceiling, and Frankie turns some knobs on it. It's very like mad scientist-y.
Mm-hmm.
And some colored liquids go pouring into the tank and fill it, and making a rainbow.
Yeah, as it fills, it makes a rainbow.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. And then boom, the body starts coming to life. He's unmasked. And Frankie's all about him. And Rocky is born.
There's gasps.
Yeah.
And then Rocky begins to sing The Sword of Damocles.
Mm-hmm. Very apt.
I always thought I'm at the start of a pretty big downer is a line for the ages.
He's not wrong.
I can think of many times I could have applied that to my situation.
Yeah.
So now Columbia and Magenta are stripping off the bandages. Rocky's unwrapped, only to be left in a glittery gold set of underwear that leaves nothing to the imagination.
Mm-hmm.
And I was, always thought that this was another way to emasculate Brad.
Yes.
In his,
tidy whities.
Well, yeah, they're not even tidy.
Lucy whities.
Something. Yeah. I always thought, man, that's anyway.
Yeah. Not only that, but Rocky's super buff, and he is,
Oh yeah. Peter Hinwood.
Yeah.
Was, well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, the guy knew how to show every little ripple, which is, why he got the part. So then we're treated to Frank completely losing his shit as he fawns over. And Tim Curry is the only human being in the world who could have pulled this off on film. Fucking awesome. Mm-hmm. And Rocky, of course, is running from Frank in terror because he's just like a couple minutes old.
Yep.
And then afterwards, Frank's fishing for compliments, and everyone's like, "Oh, marvelous, master! Credit to your genius, master." And then Columbia, he's okay.
He's okay.
So Frank just and then he bursts into, "I can make you a man."
Yes. And it is here that Tim Curry's humor really breaks in. I mean, he's been funny before, but this is like,
yeah,
it's fucking hilarious.
It is. It's great.
And at the end of, well, it's actually not the end of the song. He's interrupted singing.
Right. Yeah. It's one of those break-ins, literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The deep freeze opens, and Eddie, played by Meatloaf, looking pretty rough with a giant gash across his forehead.
Like the Frankenstein gash that was stapled.
Mm-hmm. He breaks in with a little rock number called Hot Patootie.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Columbia just loses her mind. She's all about Eddie.
Oh, yeah. Eddie!
Yeah. Frankie, however, looks murderous.
Yeah.
The whole time he's just glaring at him, and he's getting really pissed when everyone starts dancing to Eddie's number.
Yeah, his glee and mirth have vanished quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so it's when Rocky shows interest in Eddie.
Mm-hmm.
Frank gets really bent. So he throws Rocky in the elevator cage, starts leering at Eddie. And as the song ends, Frank has a pickaxe.
Yep.
Right? Goes after Eddie. So everyone's screaming. And they go into the deep freeze, and you hear some stuff. And then one bloody axe later, Eddie's gone. Frank comes out, there's blood trickling out through the ice down the thing.
It's about as gory as you can get without actually showing the impact of it.
Right. They didn't spare the sounds. That was it.
Yeah.
Squish. it was all there. Rocky's freaking out in the elevator cage, so Frank runs to him and calms him down. And then Frank reveals to Rocky that Eddie was a thing, but he wasn't anything great. He was a distraction, it was a moment thing. And says he had no muscle. Rocky flexes, and then Frank gives us one of his fucking awesome, legendary shrieks. I can't even imitate it.
It's a shriek of delight.
I know, it fries my throat trying. It's just awesome. So then we get a reprise of I Can Make You a Man. Even Janet can't contain herself. She busts in.
Mm-hmm.
Brad still looks like he had a 2x4 stuck in his ass.
Yeah.
And then Frank and Rocky head off to the bridal suite.
Yes. Which is just off the lab.
Of course. Hey, why wait unnecessarily? Right?
Yeah.
Castle's big.
Mm-hmm.
The shortest journey is best.
That's true. Back with the criminologist, we learned that Brad and Janet were shown to separate rooms because he's explaining this.
Yes.
And it's actually the exact same room, just with a different light filter.
Yeah, different colored lighting.
Yeah. Which, a low budget movie might use as a money saving tool.
Mm-hmm.
But this movie actually used it as a really clever tool because their evenings are mirrored.
Right.
And so having the room be the same.
Yes.
Really played into that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we start out in Janet's room. There's a knock. In comes Brad. He hops into the bed, and then on top of her, he starts making moves on her, and all of a sudden, the wig comes off, and long curly hair, and it's all silhouetted.
Yes.
Right? So behind a curtain.
The bed curtain.
Yeah, the bed curtain. And then we see the long flowing hair of Frankenfurter, and, Janet's horrified, and then Frank promises that he won't tell Brad.
Mm-hmm.
And that's good enough for Janet.
Yes.
They're at it.
Yep. Meanwhile, Riff Raff and Magenta are up to no good. They're clearly plotting. They're tormenting Rocky kind of just to be mean.
Yeah.
With a candlestick.
Yeah.
And Rocky's not too bright.
Well, no. Well, he has half a brain, as we learned.
Yeah.
Half of Eddie's brain.
Rocks in his head.
Yep.
But so he's scared and runs away. And then Riff Raff and Magenta just neck.
I know. So back to Brad's room. Same setup, silhouetted. It's the bed veil thing. So Janet runs in, jumps into bed, hops on top of him. The wig comes off, and it's Frank.
Yep.
And Brad is repulsed with all the verve of a man who is sexually challenged.
Yes.
And that's the thing. The characters, Janet responds way differently than Brad.
Right.
Brad isn't so. Janet's about the situation, the sanctity of commitment. She's engaged, but she still, fucks Frank anyway. Brad, it's not the idea of doing something while he's engaged. It's the attack on his sex. He's a man.
Well, yeah.
He's a man. This is, and that's where all of his oof comes from. Because otherwise he has nothing.
Yeah.
Right. So Frank, ever the seducer, talks Brad into giving over to pleasure, and they're at it. And then Riff Raff comes up on a monitor telling Frank Rocky is loose, or the oh my God.
Oh, what?
Anyway, nothing. So anyway, he's loose somewhere on the grounds.
Mm-hmm. So then we see Rocky. He's running in the rain. There are dogs in pursuit that Riff Raff set upon him. Janet goes back to the lab, and she gives this little, oh, if only, monologue.
Yep.
Oh, if only we hadn't done this.
Only had a flat tire. If only we hadn't gone to see Professor Scott.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
And then she turns on one of the monitors, I think by accident. She's messing with the stuff in the lab. And she catches Brad in bed with Frankie on the monitor.
Yep.
They're having a cigarette. And she's like, oh my God, a little bit hypocritical.
A little bit.
Yeah, but then she discovers Rocky in the tank. He's slightly injured. Like his hand is hurt.
Yeah, he got bit by one of the dogs.
Yeah.
He's all muddied up.
He's a little dirty.
Scuffed and scruffy.
Yeah. She starts to treat his wounds. And then she realizes, oh,
yeah,
I'm alone with Rocky.
She sure does.
The criminologist lets us know that Magenta and Columbia are watching the whole thing unfold on their monitor. And Janet gets her own song while she seduces Rocky. You know, the film quality of this really holds up. And I know it's, well, we watched it on, because we have it digitally on iTunes. We also have the DVD. I think we watched this digitally. And it's probably been remastered over time.
It was, because we bought...
when it was digitized.
The anniversary edition.
Yeah.
Because we had the anniversary edition DVD.
Yeah. But you can even tell with remastered stuff whether or not the film quality itself has held up.
Right.
Because you can't, fix...
A lot of things you can't fix.
Right.
I mean, you can tighten up some stuff and some edges and stuff. But yeah, it stands up. Because you can actually go out on YouTube and dig around and find the Time Warp MTV music video.
Yeah.
And there was no touching up. MTV wasn't too long after,
right.
the rise of the midnight movie,
Mm-hmm.
It's just good.
Everything about this is just timeless.
It is. So now we have Frank whipping Riff Raff as they go into the lab. Brad's alongside him. Frank's pissed that Rocky is missing. Riff Raff goes to check the monitor, and they have a visitor. It's Dr. Everett Scott. Riff Raff says, "You know this Earthling?" Because Brad's like, "Dr. Scott?" And then Frank smacks the console. And Riff Raff goes, "This person?" And it seems that Dr. Scott is attached to the Bureau of Investigation of UFOs. And that is making Frank angry.
Yeah.
I mean, he knows it. He's telling Brad this.
Mm-hmm.
He's pissed about it. So then Frank flips a huge triple contact electromagnet switch.
Yep.
Ching, ching, ching. And Dr. Scott is pulled through the house in his wheelchair. Through all these rooms.
Upstairs.
Yep. Upstairs, around corners and everything. And he comes crashing through the wall of the lab.
Uh-huh.
Because the only way in is the elevator.
Kool-Aid Man style.
Yeah. And then we get the as he goes down the ramp. And bam, right up to the magnets.
Mm-hmm.
So we find out that Frank thinks Dr. Scott has sent Brad and Janet as spies. Dr. Scott says he's there looking for Eddie. He's surprised as hell to see Brad standing there in a robe.
Right.
We learn that Eddie is Dr. Scott's nephew.
Mm-hmm.
And the news causes a gasp from everyone, including Janet, who is hiding in the empty tank with Rocky under a sheet.
Yep.
And
just as they kind of discover that.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. And as it's coming to a head, all of a sudden Magenta comes in with the gong. Bang! Master, dinner is prepared.
Yeah.
It's just the best. So the criminologist then gives us a little explanation of how food and dinner has played a role through history.
Yes. So then we see everyone sitting pretty sullen.
Yeah.
At the table.
They're in the dining area. A dining room.
Right. While Riff Raff and Magenta are bringing out a gigantic roast. Looks like a dinosaur leg.
It reminds me of the Flintstones.
Yeah. And Frankie toasts to absent friends.
Yes.
And puts on a paper party hat.
I know, the little birthday hat was
little
so magical.
Tiny one. Yeah. He's the only one. And he sings about half the birthday song.
Yep.
And then he stops and everyone's like, okay.
Shall we?
They eat. Dr. Scott says he wants to discuss Eddie. And Frankie goes, well, that's a rather tender subject.
Another slice, anyone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Columbia's upset. She starts crying and runs out of the room.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. We get another song about how Eddie was a troublemaker.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. For most of the cast, this was their first feature movie.
Yeah.
They were great in it. It wasn't that they hadn't done stuff before.
Right.
But this was like a break-in role, and all of them went on to do many, many other things.
Oh, yeah, we'll come back around to that.
Yeah. There are definitely cheesy moments, but those are specific for the movie.
Yeah, because this is, everything else aside, this is a parody tribute to all of those films.
Yes.
That the title song says it all. And if you've seen Attack of the Triffids, The Day the Earth Stood Still,
Forbidden Planet,
all of these things, that while they're wonderful and excellent, right? They are very period based.
Yeah.
In their treatment of men and women and their roles and things like that.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Yeah.
So the song ends with Frankie revealing Eddie's corpse under the tablecloth. He kind of rips it off. All the dishes come off the table.
And for the record, Eddie's fucked up.
Real fucked up. Yeah. Janet cozies up to Rocky in fear. Brad's no longer the guy who she cozies up to when she's scared.
No. Yep. Big change.
Yeah. It's Rocky now. And Frank is not having it.
No.
So he starts to chase her through the house, singing about how boring and lame she is.
Yes. And I've got to tell you, watching Tim Curry chase her through the house in high heel platform boots is fucking magical.
Yes.
I just love it. Oh my God. So they end up in the lab and Frank uses a sonic transducer.
Yeah.
And I know this because it's like the Batcave.
They're all labeled.
Everything's labeled.
Yes.
So when they throw the switch, you know what he's doing. So holds him in place. And then he breaks into song. And one of my favorite, well, it's still the Janet song. As
it's a continuation
hot
of it,
and flustered. I love that. Use a bit of mustard. But one of the greatest lines, I've loved this forever, is a mental mind fuck can be nice.
Yep.
I love that. I've loved that since the first day I heard it. Fucking great. So we have a little bit more song. Brad, Janet, Dr. Scott, Rocky, and Columbia are one by one turned to stone by the Medusa machine.
Yep, which is another switch.
Just says Medusa.
Yep.
And as they're changed into a statue, whatever clothing they were wearing is gone.
It drops to the foot of the statue.
Yeah. And they're, buck naked.
Yep.
Statues, like all the other statues in the house. And then once they're all turned to stone, Magenta starts screaming at Frank that she's growing weary of this world. She wants to return to Transylvania. Frank goes to the elevator and says, "Come, we're ready for the floor show." She's like, fucking yes. That was when I first saw this. I'm like, floor show? I don't know what this is, but I'm in.
Yeah. And we get the criminologist popping in again real quick, wondering what the floor show is.
Right.
In an empty house in the middle of the night.
Yep.
Reasonable questions.
I thought it was fair.
Yeah. Back at the mansion, Frankie is busily preparing the statues with corsets, boas, makeup, all kinds of stuff. And he's so cute. He's got his hair tied up in a little twill bandana, clothing flung over his shoulder.
Very, actually 40s.
Yes.
Rosie the Riveter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. He demeduces each of them in turn for the floor show.
Yes.
They each get their own little musical number.
Well, they're part in it. Yeah.
Yeah. and then Frank gets his spotlight number. This one in particular is, I feel like, the statement of the movie summarized, just in general.
Mm-hmm.
That sexuality is demonized unnecessarily.
Right.
Even now, even heterosex,
Yeah.
right? It's not a polite subject, I guess.
No, well, it's 2020.
Right.
And we still, at least in America, well, a lot of countries, but we can only speak of America because it's where we live. Sex of any
kind
is still met with such a puritanic pureness,
right?
It's just,
well, and then, sexual education is so backwards and awful as well.
It is. And we're not going to get into all that because that's a different talk show.
Right.
We don't do a podcast on that. We'll talk about a little bit about this stuff.
Right. But anyway, the overall statement is in the song.
Yeah.
Don't dream it, be it.
And that resonates on a lot of things.
I almost break into tears when I hear that song.
You know what? Here's the thing. I said I hate musicals.
Mm-hmm.
They mostly just bore me and irritate me. The one thing, Richard O'Brien, if nothing else, right? Forget all the creativity stuff, and I'll talk about that more. What he wrote for these numbers, he had such an emotional connection.
Oh, yeah.
To his imagined audience when he was writing this.
He did.
And it was magical because it did connect. I feel the same way. I'm just like, that's it evokes emotion.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. But we'll talk more about that. So this is also the greatest floor show in movie history.
Oh my God.
I'm
it's fantastic.
You know what? Don't bother emailing, texting, or sending messages, DMs through any of the social media. Because you know what? You're not ever going to convince me otherwise. I don't care what you think is a contender. This is number one. There is nothing so fucking magnificent as the visual spectacle of this floor show. The music, the songs, and these people's performances are timeless. We keep saying that, but it's true. And they hit home. Now, all of a sudden, the curtain rises behind them. And then we have, and this was another beautiful thing. Anyone who knows the classics, right, for sci-fi stuff and that, all these movies, RKO is behind a lot of them. RKO. So we get the magnificent backdrop of the old RKO radio picture sign.
Yeah.
Right?
Radio picture.
Yeah, radio picture. That's what makes it wonderful.
Yeah.
And then Frank takes us into, Don't Dream It.
Mm-hmm.
Be it. So the number is fantastic, as they all are. And then we get Frank's mantra delivered in song. Give yourself over to absolute pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then with great enthusiasm and energy, we burst into Wild and Untamed Thing.
So fun.
Oh, fuck yeah. And the energy is, and this is, I didn't like them before, but I think this spoiled me for the rest of my life because there is nothing that has ever fucking come close to the energy, just the rawness of this fucking musical film. Nothing out there. I know you and Lily, are all big about Hamilton and, see, I can't be bothered, just aside from some of the music choices that I'm not interested in.
Well, I mean, there's, I like it.
Well, and there's, and that's fine. There's good, right? Musicals can still be good to people who like them. I'm just going to maintain, nope.
And,
and I grew up on the big numbers where they had like in the swimming pools for no fucking reason, Rockettes and these huge, all these big studio things where they literally had a warehouse, as the dance floor. And, I loved, the dance and the tap and stuff, but the actual musical part, I couldn't be bothered with.
Yeah.
Anyway,
fun story about the song Wild and Untamed Thing.
Bring it.
It is my ringtone, and I love it. And once, I can't remember who it was. It was someone I knew. I think it was someone I worked with. My phone rang. And the person looked at me like deadpan, and he said, you know, you can tell a lot about a person from their ringtone. And I was like, yeah, you sure can.
Yep.
Sometimes.
Oh.
I think he meant it to be, you know, like disparaging, but I wasn't offended by it at all.
Yeah, that was a hit and a miss. You can try what you try as you might. You can't use any of this material to disparage us on our choices.
Right?
Never.
That's not my fault. You're too boring to have a cool ringtone.
Yep.
Unfortunately for Frank.
Yep.
Magenta and Riff Raff have had it up to here with his shenanigans. They're super done. They tell him that his lifestyle is too extreme, and that his mission is a failure. And Frank breaks into song again. He says, wait. And then he breaks into this really emotional song.
Yeah.
Where he's imagining himself performing for a full house of audience of adoring fans.
Yep. Oh, it's awesome.
It is awesome. Riff and Magenta are not affected at all.
No.
By this touching musical number.
No, they've made up their mind. They have their plan.
And then they're in their spacesuits now.
Yeah, they're Alienware.
Not their
butler and maid outfits.
Right, yeah.
That are dusty, bloody, torn, and haggard.
And also super revealing.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I want to dress up as Magenta so bad in her housemaid outfit.
If I wasn't short and tubby, I'd love to dress as Riff Raff.
You totally could.
I could not.
So they inform him of their intention to kill him before they go back to Transylvania.
Yep.
And Brad asks, well, what's his crime? And Dr. Scott, I thought it's another statement. He says he's with them, right?
Right.
He's like, they're doing it to protect society. They kill Columbia.
Yep.
And then they kill Frank.
Yeah.
And Rocky is devastated.
Yep.
He picks up Frank's body.
Yep.
And we get a nod to King Kong.
Yep.
As Rocky carries his body up to the top of the fake RKO tower.
Uh-huh.
While they're shooting at him and it's bouncing off.
Yeah. They're cheesy effects.
Yes.
Well, this was awesome because, again, I caught this the first time. This whole floor show opens. The opening line is, whatever happened to Fay Ray?
Yes.
And then we end with Frank is Fay Ray being carried over the monster's shoulder. You know, of course, Fay Ray wasn't dead in King Kong, but, you know.
Well, yeah.
The symbology between those two was just awesome. So it takes several shots.
Yes.
And then Riff takes Rocky down. They fall into the pool. When it's over, Magenta tells Riff Raff didn't have to kill Frank. He liked him. And Riff Raff yells back, he didn't like me. He never liked me.
Okay.
It's just like, ooh, touchy subject.
I guess.
So now the two aliens basically shove off the survivors.
Yeah, they're
out of
like,
the castle.
If you want to live, get out.
Yeah, go now.
Mm-hmm.
And the castle takes flight, and it leaves our heroes on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in the extended release, there's a song, Heroes.
That Brad sings.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And that is not in the original theatrical release. That was cut.
Right.
So it was put back in for the anniversary editions and stuff. So we won't go into that. But yeah, it takes off. And then we're back to the for fuck's sake.
Criminologist.
Mm-hmm. I talk too goddamn fast.
I do too. I trip over my words a lot.
Okay, so the criminologist wraps it up for us. And the closing line of the film, in crawling on the planet's face, some insects called the human race, lost in time, lost in space, and meaning.
Ooh.
Credits.
Yeah.
And then we get a small reprise of science fiction double feature. Very just, single piano instrumental.
Mm-hmm.
And that, folks, is the film.
It is.
One of the greatest films ever. To me, the undisputed king of B movies. What are you motioning?
I want to refill my coffee.
Oh, are we going to take a coffee break?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Well, I could have covered that up.
Well, I can't do the real thing now because I'm out of coffee.
You know how long these things take?
I know.
We need bigger mugs for in here.
I know. We could bring in the Stanley thermos.
Please. See, now I'm going to take a drink. Well, do you want to go and fill the coffee while I can talk about just some of the tech info to bring people up before we discuss the movie in itself?
Okay.
All right. You can do that.
Yeah.
You oiled the door hinges.
I did. They're
so
quiet.
We won't hear the shrieking velociraptor squeak of the office door.
But you'll hear it opening and shutting.
That's all right. Live action, people. Why edit when you can just keep going? But yeah, pull it shut so I don't get the hallway echo. All right. So, as we said at the beginning, folks, this is a musical. Hit the stage in 1973. Richard O'Brien wrote it, did the songs. I'm just, everything. And it's, interestingly enough, Jim Sharman directed the musical in the UK. All right. So that's how he got attached to this. And it's pretty cool that he was able to carry through to be the director of the film. And the cast, Richard O'Brien and Patricia Quinn were in the musical. They played different parts here and there. But when it came over, the whole point of the musical, the reason it started kicking off in the UK is because we were hitting the androgynous sexuality. All right. We're talking, Ziggy Stardust, right? David Bowie doing his whole Ziggy Stardust thing. And it not just in the UK, but here, there was starting to become a lot of challenges to, expression of sexuality, identification of who you are as a person, and everything that goes with that. When it got picked up, 20th Century Fox was the one that wanted to put this out there. And like I said, interestingly, it did shitty when it got here. The one marketing executive actually, the poster for the original release of the movie here just didn't excite him. It didn't speak to the movie and the whole concept of, well, this is what it's about. He had a thought. So what they wanted to do is what he did is he just took a still shot of Patricia's lips from the film as she was singing, the opening song. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And basically, that brush of cold air is awesome. Well, no, close it but yeah, this office is still getting hot, people. We're not to air conditioning weather yet. So the poster, it became the iconic poster that we know today. The lips.
Yeah.
Just black background, the lips, the teeth, and Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what...
It's a great poster.
It is. And that was the marketing genius. Now, some other things. This was one of the few movies of its kind that hit Saturday Night Live. I remember that episode. We're talking, way back, folks.
Hmm.
It was years after it came out, but in one of Saturday Night Live skits, they were doing a skit about Ronald Reagan. And all of a sudden he pulls off his clothes and he's wearing Frankenfurter's corset and, bustier and the fishnets and everything. And they kind of broke into that whole thing. It was one of the funniest fucking things I've ever seen. So I was just telling him about Jim Sharman directing the musical and being able to do the film.
Oh, yeah.
And some other stuff. But when I first saw this, and this is the benefit of having a less than vigilant parent who truly didn't give a shit where I was. I saw this in 1979 and I was 8. It was my 9th birthday at the end of summer, but it was the beginning of summer when I saw it. It was just starting to make its rounds in the midnight movies and played here in Madison, Majestic. So I just left the house, took the bus downtown, stayed out way late. Here's the thing. Back then, in like the 70s and early 80s, people saw like an 8, 9, 10-year-old walking around. It's like they always assumed their parent was nearby. I used to go during the summer and hang out at the fucking UW and sit in on lectures and the mathematics and physics and everything. And for the longest time, everybody thought I just belonged to somebody there. Right? And after a while, I had like a little following, I had co-eds and other students buying me, treats and stuff, because I'm just here checking it out. I don't know anybody here, and they thought it was cute, which
it is cute.
Well, it is cute, but still, I think the top thing would be, well, what the fuck are you doing down Madison on a college campus?
Where are your parents?
Yeah, just 9 miles that way across town. But anyway, back to this wonderful movie. When I saw this, not only was the first time seeing Rocky Horror, they were doing the floor shows.
Oh.
The audience participation.
Oh, yeah.
And I was an odd kid. I mean, you know this.
Well,
yeah.
You're an odd adult.
Well, good. But I was an odd kid. I didn't have my place. I didn't understand my world. We have a folder. I started writing lengthy stories, at like 5. I got my first one that I wrote for school when I was in first grade in there. And, I was in my head, I was a writer. I loved science fiction. I loved science. I loved the truth of it. And then the just, disregard of it in film. And, maybe it could be that way, and even at that age, just understanding truths as we know them and have them come unraveled, and I saw the world very differently. One thing about Madison, it wasn't as outward all the time, but I remember from a very young age, this was the first place because, lived in Northern Illinois, but came here. And there's a lot of places in Wisconsin this wouldn't have happened. But I remember seeing men and women walking, holding hands.
Yeah.
2 women, 2 men. Now, and that sounds like fucking nothing. But, in 1976, when I'm a little kid, like, what? Because they talk bad about this on TV. I'm like, whoa, and I had a respect for that. And I loved that. And I just didn't understand what it all meant. And then I saw this fucking thing. And I saw the people playing along at the stage, on the stage, dressing up and going along with it. I'm like, what the hell, man? This is,
There's nothing like this movie.
There is nothing like it when you have the audience participation part and everything. So this movie was my introduction to myself. To, you know what? Because those words, don't dream it, be it, isn't like an inspirational thing. Because you can get that shit on coffee mugs.
Well, yeah.
Don't dream it, be it means don't fucking dream about being yourself. That's how I took it. Don't dream about being yourself. Be yourself. Embrace yourself. Love it. Revel in it. And from that point on, I never fucking looked back. I, movie geek, science fiction geek, writing geek, book geek, just all over geek.
Yeah.
We still are today.
Well, yeah.
We're still surrounded by our toys and our figures and our collections and stuff.
Yeah. We should post a picture of our office here.
Our wall here.
For Instagram and Twitter and stuff.
I think I will.
Okay.
Well, it'll happen before this comes out.
It's a little cluttered, you guys. But yeah. It's a lot of toys.
But anyway, so yeah, as we start talking about the movie, I think the biggest thing, and the whole reason we love movies is because a good movie will impact your life. We go to movies to see reflections of ourselves. We look for validation. We're human beings.
Yeah.
We want to see ourselves in a character on that screen so that we can connect and we can experience or empathize or, something. We just want to see a shred of it. And, even horror movies, which one are you? Well, I'm the one that screams like a little girl and runs, I'm the one that, stands up and gets his ass. Yeah. Everyone picks somebody from it.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. And this movie was the first movie to really revel in and celebrate, people just being who they are.
Right. While you were getting coffee, I was telling them how in the UK this came about because it was David Bowie's Ziggy Stardust.
Oh, yeah.
Androgynous, right?
Yeah.
Non-binary. Ziggy Stardust. What, people were like, what is it? What is?
Oh, yeah. People were real confused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it supposed to be a man, a woman? It was androgyny. And that whole thing, we were starting to get the waking of sexuality over here and over there because, we had women's lib and women finally claiming, shit in the workplace and calling out sexism, and all that. And yeah, this movie took a love for B movies.
Yes.
Right. And just like shat in its face on, when I love Forbidden Planet, it's my top sci-fi film, but it couldn't be more sexist.
Oh my God. All of those movies.
Leslie Nielsen was such a man in that. And, the one woman character, she was just there for someone to fucking rescue and to throw in the Wilhelm screams and stuff, but yeah, this movie takes all of that, blows it into comic proportions, makes fun of it, and then assaults it with, not only is there a man and woman thing, roles of men, roles of women, now we have all this other stuff.
Well, yeah.
Right? We have, gay, lesbian, bisexual, transvestites, and, and I'm not going to jump on board this one. I'm going to say this is the one part of the film I don't champion. Incest.
Oh, yeah.
Because Riff and Magenta are brother and sister.
Yeah.
So
and
the makeout thing. But to be fair, right? After this hit the theaters in 1975, 2 years later, 5 years later, in Empire Strikes Back, George Lucas did it to us with Luke and Leia.
That's true.
In that tiny little makeout session in the med bay. So
yeah,
we can't. I'm sorry.
I also can't champion building a human person as essentially a sex doll.
Right. The plaything has, escaped to somewhere loose in the out on the grounds. But I think that comes to it too, because the whole creation of Rocky at the end song, I'm just 7 hours old. And his little bit is like, I'm still a person, I'm not a thing.
Well, yeah.
Right? That no living creature should be treated that way.
No.
Or expected to be viewed in that way. And he might have only had half a brain. And it might have been half of Eddie's brain. Right? But it didn't take long for him to realize himself. And I think that was the core of the whole film. Everyone else is great, but Rocky's story is the driving force of this, and it's the whole Frankenstein thing.
Yeah.
It's, if it has a heartbeat and has a thought, it's an individual, right? So that's the philosophy
Yeah.
behind it. Now let's talk about some stuff about this movie that makes it so fucking great and why people need to watch it and learn from it.
Yeah.
Where do we go? You want to kick it off?
Well, I think one thing we mentioned was the camera work earlier.
Yes.
And I think that, getting Jim Sharman who directed the musical to do the movie was perfect because he knew exactly, what to do and how to capture it.
Right.
And, from doing the theatrical musical, so, you do it again and again and again, right? As a director, you don't just tell everyone what to do and then let it run.
Right.
Every single time is a new thing. You get to really know the story and know the performances and know where to focus.
Right.
On those.
Well, and the movie is different than the musical.
Yes.
In some aspects.
They added a lot.
Well, they had to add the big dance number, so the Transylvanians and that whole big choreographed thing was not in the musical. And as Richard O'Brien will say, simply couldn't afford it. I mean, they
didn't have the Transylvanians.
Well, they started out like in the equivalent of public access television.
Yeah.
Right? In terms of theater. They had a space and it was on the second floor. Mm-hmm. And they had to work with what they got. And they could only fit so many people in there and a little bit of an audience. So, but, to go Hollywood, you amp it up. And having Jim Sharman, who was in the musical, I think that was probably the saving grace because a different director, I think, could have fucked this up completely.
Oh, absolutely.
Adding new stuff. If you understand the rhythm, the tempo, the movement of the film, not the music, but just the play itself. Mm-hmm. When you add stuff in, you are better able to make that fit in or expand seamlessly.
Yes.
And he knew the tone and all this. So I think that was fucking brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
That happened. One of the things that I remember we were listening to a little commentary, Richard, again, talking about money. We didn't have the money for it. $1.2 million in 1975 was no small budget.
Right.
I mean, that was fucking huge. I didn't do the conversion because you don't need to. You just need to think back, 1975. Well, in 1977 or 78, when the action figures came out, I could buy a Star Wars action figure for $1.69. Now they're like $12 fucking dollars. I mean,
yeah.
And they're shittier. But with that amount of money, the sets is where most of it went.
Yeah.
And while they had that 50s look and the things were labeled and stuff, like the criminologist's room, fucking beautiful.
Beautiful.
Even Patricia Quinn said she went in and because she didn't want to do the movie.
Right.
At first. And I don't think it was Jim Sharman. I think somebody else called her up and said, just come take a look at what they're putting together. And she saw
the lab.
Yeah. And she's like, I'm in.
Yep.
Because that's kind of the thing with budget. We've talked about that. When you're indie filmmaker, equipment needs to be the number one thing.
Yes.
You need to get the best equipment you can, which is basically the best camera you can. Anything after the camera is just another bonus. But it also comes to, if you have the money, sets. Mm-hmm. And we've talked about, you can shoot shit in your living room. You can shoot it anywhere, but spend a little money to make it what it's supposed to be. Right. And
well,
that means even if you have to bring stuff from your house over to your friend's apartment, like in Alice, right? Shot in somebody else's apartment bedroom.
Yeah.
Okay. But my photographs.
Yes.
To girly it up. Mm-hmm. my floral series.
Yeah.
Photographs.
Different bedspread.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so that cost nothing.
Right.
Right. Cost nothing. Just framed a couple that I didn't have framed and then just went into my collection. Like, okay, let's hang these. Mm-hmm. There you go. We made props. We had someone build us a prop to saw the BB Baney.
Yeah. Elvin built that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, Yeah. And we went to Goodwill. We got a top hat. And I happened to have a ridiculous bow tie from an old tuxedo.
Yeah, that blue one.
The blue paisley one.
Yeah.
That worked just fine.
Perfect.
You know, that's all it takes, folks.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it takes. Now, if you have a gigantic budget, you know, go fucking hog wild. Build this shit, do it. But little things can make a massive difference. And it all comes with, if you're a director, you know how to set the scene. If you're an actor, speak up, right? Say, hey, you know what? I get the scene, but based on who my character and stuff is, after looking at this, what if we, you know, added something here, added something there, something that speaks more of the character? Because usually in indie film, right, you don't have a lot of time to sit in one place and build the ambiance of the character and get a picture of them. So yeah, grab what you can, but because what made this work was just all the extra little shit that was added in the background, and it's noticed.
Yeah, and another thing I wanted to touch on, and we briefly mentioned it, and when we were talking about the bedrooms, Brad and Janet's bedrooms, was this movie was lit phenomenally.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like, and I could be wrong, I don't think I am, but I feel like that comes from, I mean, a lot of the theater group, you know, worked on this movie. And guess what is a real big thing in theaters? Lighting. That's, you know.
Oh yeah. Well, it's a combination of that and, I mean, $1.2 million. Well, yeah. So this is a studio sponsored B movie. Right? This was never going to be an Oscar.
Well, yeah.
But studio put some heft behind it, right?
It did.
Because it had
a built-in audience.
Well, it was an IP.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, well, this thing's going crazy over there. Let's bring it to Broadway over here, and then let's make a movie out of this bitch.
Yeah.
Boom, they did. But yeah, everything on this is spot on. So, you know, obviously, if you have the backing of a studio, you better have good lighting.
Yeah.
We're not saying that you do, because we've seen some high-end B movies. They're like, did somebody forget the bulbs? You know?
Well, yeah.
Did the director have his eyes dilated an hour before the fucking movie? Does he not see this?
Well, and it was well for the tone of the movie as well, you know, for what it was as the parody / love letter to B movies, as well as, you know, the statement that it was. If you were to take, you know, another movie and a musical, like let's take, Sound of Music.
Okay.
Right. And you were to light it as dramatically as this movie was lit.
It would have a different feel.
Completely different.
Yeah, it would.
You know, it wouldn't work for Sound of Music.
No.
Right?
Oh man, I have the, you know, it's funny because after we watched this next day, I was playing the music because you know, you get into these things.
I'm gonna watch it again now.
Oh yeah, and we will many times. One of the things, so we were lucky enough to meet Barry Bostwick.
Oh yeah, he's
and I don't know if I told this story before. We were talking about with the Midge. So we met Barry, and he was at a Comic-Con, but he wasn't he was listed, but he wasn't featured. And I thought this was kind of fucking shitty because they give the A-listers, right? So they had Walking Dead was, you know, the talk of the town.
Well, they have like center booths.
Well, they have the whole big thing, right?
Yeah.
And Barry was stuck in this, like, back in the fucking corner. You had to like go to him. You know, they had the big banners and stuff and all the setups. Barry just had a little booth where he had some stuff set up and some pictures, and, you know, you didn't have to do all the lines and bullshit. It was just awesome. So we took with us our DVD, the anniversary edition, to have him sign it. And we had him sign it to our daughter.
Right. She was with us, and she was 7, maybe 6 or 7 at the time.
Yeah. This would have been, 7. Because, this was 2016.
Yeah.
And so the thought being, it's cool. We have some autograph things. We had our scripts autographed and stuff, but this was something she loved, the Time Warp song.
Yes.
We had introduced her to it. And she saw the video. So she kind of, she understood a little bit, we're going to go see Brad.
Right.
She doesn't know that he was, Barry Bostwick was in Spin City with Michael J. Fox for years in television and all these movies and all this other stuff.
Well, right.
So anyway, we go, and he's, wonderful man. He's just so pleasant and sweet. And so he's signing it. So, who are you going to make it to? Our daughter, Lily. And she's standing in front of him, and he starts writing, and then he stops and he looks at her. You haven't seen this, have you? And I jumped in. No, she hasn't.
Yeah.
Not yet. No, she knows the music.
Mm-hmm.
And this is for her when she grows up. She can, she gets to have the autographed DVD for her collection and
yes,
everything. And just watching it last time, we're like, is she old enough yet? Not yet. And you know what? I know there are people out there who, because I grew up with people who were like, no boundaries. I don't say that in a bad way. They don't believe in establishing boundaries. It's like, well, the kid's introduced to this and that's fine. We'll talk to him and stuff. But we know our daughter, and I don't think, she has the full tool set to ask questions and comprehend things just yet. I think we're a year away from some of that. Most of it, not too bad. But there's a couple things that I want to be clear. I want to be clear with her on what it is, and I want mystery and.
Well, yeah, I don't want to. We never talk down to her, and we never dumb stuff down for her.
No, we talk to her like she's an adult. We always have.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Soften the language a bit.
A little.
but not the baby talk. We never did all that because that's not how you talk to a person.
Right.
So we've talked to her like she's her own capable person, but we have kind of, you have to explain things from a ground up level, complicated concepts when they're first introduced. Other than that, but see, there's adults who are going to college having that done to them.
Well, yeah.
Because they're people.
Yeah. And it's not that she's unfamiliar with this, type of world, I guess. When she was younger, when my uncles were getting married, she was a little bit confused by that.
Right.
And so we explained to her and she was like, oh, okay. And I was like, and it's a masquerade. And then she was like, ooh.
Oh, well, yeah, it was a masquerade reception.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And I think that's one of the beauties of this movie is this is what it was supposed to do in 1975. And it can still do it today. Right.
Yeah.
She understands about the, Frank and Brad and Frank and Janet and people, men and women love each other. Men and men love each other. Women and women love each other. Some men love men and women. Some women love women and men, some people like dressing, one way or another, or, and they identify with, and we've always been really, forward with her on that. And I think she's seen it on TV. We've talked about it, but she never, until your uncle's wedding, we hadn't actually been to a wedding,
right?
Or in a situation. We've always talked about it, and she knew your uncles. I mean,
well, yeah,
yeah, but she just didn't make that connection because she was little.
Well, yeah,
But anyway, this film, aside from the technical aspects, I think one of the things that has made it succeed is the writing. Okay, so it's a musical, right? But it has a point to it.
Yes.
A lot of musicals are just fucking words and song. It's just an excuse to, get shit going, right? And now it's funny because Barry Bostwick, when he was picked to do the film, he was doing Grease on stage. Right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Now, I love the movie Grease, but I'm going to be honest with you. The fucking story.
It's a garbage story.
It's
I'm saying it.
And I've said it, Star Wars, I love that movie, but the story is so fucking simple. It's just not worthy of, you wouldn't use it as an example
No.
of deep, great storytelling, but you can use it as an example of simple storytelling, simple concept to cut out all the bullshit. Here it is. Get to it. Get to the end. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Grease, same thing. It's just an excuse to dress as greasers and have a lot of music.
Yeah.
And there we go. But anyway, still, I love the movie. Love the movie. Yeah. But the writing of this has such power. It tells a story. You can see the transformations on the screen in the way the characters speak. Their songs, their actions,
the clothes.
Yeah. Everything shows the evolution of Brad and Janet into this world.
Yeah.
And the whole thing of, it's not Frank's bisexuality that is extreme, right?
Right.
That's a whole separate subject. That's Frank. That's a kid in a candy store.
Yes.
Right? It's given Frank the power to control shit going on another planet with another species. And he's just like fucking all over it. Wild parties, creating shit, creating Rocky and just,
Well, yeah.
To me, it's just a subtle, it's the science fiction aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
And the story behind all those stories of science fiction movies is just because you can doesn't mean you should. It's that simple little thing. Reel it in. It's Dr. Frankenstein.
Yeah.
He creates the creature and, the creature gets away from him. Frankenfurter creates a creature, but he also just has this wild ass lifestyle. And it's not the lifestyle that's bad. It's the fact that they're supposed to be covert.
Well,
observing the human race.
Yeah.
He's got a castle.
And he throws ragers all the time.
Exactly.
He's not inconspicuous.
No. And, I think that sums up at the end on his songs on, fuck it. I'm not sorry, but I guess this is it, right?
Yep.
This is how it's going to go against me. What can I do? But I wouldn't do it different.
This is who I am.
Exactly. And that's the fucking thing. Writing any story, and we don't have, this is who I am, other than Baking in Chaos.
Yeah.
And it's not this is who I am. It's a coming of age of this is who I am. I'm going to be okay with that.
Yes.
A little bit different.
Yeah.
Right? It's not proclaiming to the world, this is who I am. This is being okay with yourself. The first step.
Right.
Right. So admittedly, we don't have this kind of story. And if you're going to try and do something along these lines, really work on it. Really, really work on it. Don't do the Hollywood trends. Don't do what's trending on fucking Twitter or on the news, who's bitching, pissing and moaning about this, or who's, railing against that, or pretty much anything, or I don't even want to get into the politics. So anyway.
Well, I think that's, in my opinion, the principal lesson that can be learned from this movie is, what Richard O'Brien did was he wrote this whole thing directly from his heart.
Yeah.
And because he did that, it speaks to other people's hearts.
Oh, absolutely.
If you write something that you're absolutely passionate about, something that, is purely, from you, can only be from you.
Yeah.
Someone is going to connect with that.
Oh, yeah. Because so I saw this in 79, right? So I was still 8. And over the years, this got attacked. In the 80s, there was a huge religious movement. They attacked Dungeons and Dragons. They were attacking music, rock and roll. I mean, fucking Frank Zappa was called before the Senate, right? Because they wanted to fucking label lyrics, parental advisory, that bullshit with fucking Tipper Gore and go for it. Yep. Here's the thing. So all that was going on. When it was going on the news, as a kid, I looked at it as just a bunch of assholes. But when it first started, seeing people say, this is perverted, this is damaging, this is all that, they were attacking me as I was listening to it.
Yeah.
And even at that age, I kind of figured out, because by then I'm 11,
Hmm.
right? 11 or 12. And I knew, well, there's other people out there who are like me who are hearing it the same way. It's attacking them as they're listening to it.
Yeah.
And I thought that's one of the great things about this film is the story and everything about it. It emboldened me years before. Fuck you.
Yeah.
This is who I am. I don't give a shit who you are. You don't ever get to fucking tell me who I am. And
Absolutely.
And this is my anthem. You know, say what you want, but fuck you. Because you do. Yeah. I mean, people have the right to speak.
Well, yeah.
We don't agree with most of it, and it's painful and upsetting. But, you know, if you want to speak freely, others have to speak freely. It's just, how much do you let their bullshit affect you? You know, find your tribe. I mean, that's it. We've talked about it. Creatives, right? Find your tribe. In life, find your tribe.
Yeah.
Right? And that's everything. I don't even want to use words to single anything out. Any aspect of life has a tribe attached to it. Find your tribe. And then when you do, fuck the rest.
Yep.
You know, if you're going to create, again, something that is supposed to touch people, again, just really think about it. You know, don't go for the puff and fluff. I hate that shit. Right? We've seen a couple movies like Manchester by the Sea. I still don't fucking understand what about that, because it didn't tug my heartstrings. It didn't make me feel any connection with anyone, but apparently the national conscience, right?
There was no character growth in that movie.
There wasn't any character in the movie. I just don't understand what everyone got all fluffy duffy about it. But anyway, hey, whatever. You know what? We don't like it. They did. They can tell us to fuck off. I get it. I respect that.
That's fine.
But from my own point of view, fuck you back. I don't like it. Don't tell me I have to. But when I think about it, I think they were hitting on the Hollywood, you know, the shit that was going on. It's that kind of like collective conscience thing.
Well, it's interesting because when something like this happens and then there's, you know, things like this change the world in subtle ways.
Yes.
And they change it in big ways. And people who don't like that don't like having their world changed.
No.
And they're going to attack the things that they think are changing their world.
Yes.
In their opinion, for the worse.
Yes.
They're wrong.
Yes.
But that's what happens.
Oh, yeah. It is. This is such a good fucking movie.
It is.
It really is. The technical aspects of it, I mean, there's more we could talk about, but it's all there.
It is.
The sound is good. It's a musical, so the choreography is good.
The acting is absolutely fucking fantastic.
Acting is top notch. I mean, all these people, and we didn't mention this, but this was Tim Curry's first feature film.
Yeah.
And I can't think of any better first part to start a career as long and storied as his.
Well,
as Frankenfurter.
And when you say Tim Curry, the first role that comes to people's minds is Frankenfurter.
Right.
You know, and he's played lots of wonderful roles.
Oh, he was, I know, such a beautiful actor.
Yeah.
So talented.
Yeah.
But yeah, this, you know, and it's funny watching it because you do, you know, realize, man, I've been watching Tim Curry for a long time. And then you look at it, you're like, look at baby face Tim. Look at little baby Barry. Look at little baby Susan.
Uh-huh.
You know, because 45 years.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ.
Ooh.
You know, yeah. I think that's the goal of a director, of an actor, of a writer, composer, you know. That's the dream. 45 years from now, will someone be watching my shit, listening to it, and just loving the fuck out of it in mass, you know? Not the lonely little dude like me sitting in a fucking corner like, look what I dug up. This is awesome. You know, it's a cultural phenomenon today still. And just want to note that I think the last time I went to a show, I was 14. And then life,
Well,
it just
yeah,
didn't. And then they stopped coming for a while.
they did.
But a couple years ago, they had one showing here in Madison with the floor show.
They did. There's a group in Madison actually that does it every year, and they do showings actually like fairly regularly now.
Now,
yeah, they've been doing them for a while.
Well, they did a poor job advertising because never saw it, but we finally got to go.
I follow them now, and I'm friends with the guy who directs it. So,
well, there you go. But it was magical, and it was just as much oomph as the first night. Every night I saw it after that.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it many times. But to be able to do that again and watch the performers on the stage do their thing, it's just amazing.
It is.
I mean, this is B-movie heaven.
Yeah.
This is an anthem that has and will continue to last for decades.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's all we can hope for is we have that one thing that touches people. Because whether you do horror, comedy, romance, drama, whatever your genre is, whatever your part in it,
mm-hmm.
acting it out, directing it, writing it. I mean, even authors, right? Just books.
Yeah.
They just want, it's just the most awesome thing to think. I mean, this could be something that, my grandkids be talking to people about.
Yeah.
How fucking awesome would that be? Well,
if you've never seen the Rocky Horror Picture Show, you need to.
And it's not hard to find. It's out there everywhere.
Yeah.
Buy it, rent it. I recommend buying it.
Well, yeah.
Because, you're going to watch it again and again and again
mm-hmm. and
again. I tell you what, get the soundtrack too. When you're having a party, spin any one of these bad boys up and shit will bust loose.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. This is good stuff.
Well.
Yeah. We could go on and on about this. It's just, we adore this movie so much. But I think it's time.
I think so.
That we give it a farewell.
Yeah.
And remind everybody, you can learn more about what we're doing in all of our podcast links and
mm-hmm.
subscriptions, Patreon links.
Yeah.
www.lordsofmisruleproductions.com. It's all there, people. Mm-hmm. Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Deezer, Spotify, Pandora, a couple more, TuneIn, iHeart, RSS, email. And plus you can just listen to them on the website.
Yes.
You can also go to our Patreon page, patreon.com/Bravo for the B-side, all one word. But there's a link on our page for that. All of our episodes are there too.
Yeah. Patrons get access early.
Yep. Get early.
Episodes.
And I'm working on being consistent. I think I'm going to do them a week ahead of time.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to do that. Make it easy. So yeah, moving forward, folks, you're going to get episodes a week early.
Yeah.
So.
And I want to give a shout out to our first patron.
Oh, yes.
Roger Whitehead.
Yeah. Bring it on.
Thank you so much.
Much appreciated.
Yeah.
It is hot as hell in here.
I'm sweating. I've got my jammies like rolled all the way up to my
I'm sitting
thighs.
here watching my wife roll the legs of her pajamas up.
Oh, and I'm in my pajamas, by the way.
Yeah, to like shorts. And I'm sitting here just sweltering.
In my sleeves, and I've like unbuttoned my shirt.
I know. This is almost like an erotic podcast.
Oh.
Well, I'm not contributing to it because I'm just sitting here in a pile of my own soup. So yeah, there's nothing fancy about
you
that.
Can take your socks off.
Fuck that.
Show me your ankles.
I'm wearing pants.
Oh, okay. Well,
I can't wait till it gets warmer. It could be back shorts weather.
It was a beautiful day today, but it's going to be, I don't know.
It's only gonna hit low 40s, mid 40s most of the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, let's see.
Yeah, we still got some chilly as shit nights.
Well, 50s. The rest of the
has it changed again?
50s.
They keep doing that.
52, 49, 59. Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird enough. The heat's been off all day too, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah, because when you open the windows, like, well, I don't need this kicking in, because within like 5 minutes of opening the windows, it dropped 4 degrees. I'm like, oh, I better turn that heat off. I haven't turned it back on. And it's still
Just
roasting
fine.
in here.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got the website.
Yeah.
Become a patron. We would appreciate it. We got some stuff. You know, the more patrons we get, we got some stuff we want to jump into, make it well worth the while.
I have big
But,
ideas for stuff
you
for our
know.
patrons.
You know, it's kind of like Field of Dreams, only it's not if you build it, they will come. If they come, we'll build it.
Yes.
That's kind of the thing, you know.
Yeah.
Also, you know, follow us on Instagram, Twitter.
Yep.
YouTube. Episodes are posted on YouTube. Nothing fancy. It's just the podcast with the slideshow.
You can also follow us on Facebook.
Yep. Facebook. I always forget Facebook because I fucking hate Facebook. But anyway, you can follow us on Facebook.
You can.
Yeah.
Leave us a review.
Yep.
Rate us
Yeah.
on your platform, whatever platform you listen on.
Yeah. Please do. It's important. It just is. I'm not going to try and find out why. Nobody knows why, really. I've talked to I don't know how many podcasters and stuff.
Well, because
And
the world is just a popularity contest. That's all it is.
I suppose. But anyway, I suppose it's something to be said for it only being on one platform because, you know, it's harder than hell to track all this across a dozen platforms.
But I did learn that if you get more than like 178 downloads per episode, that you're doing better than 50% of the podcasts out there.
Oh, well, it's a good thing we have a wide audience.
Yes.
And we didn't come up with a niche podcast.
I know.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. No, we appreciate your listening. We
We do.
really do. We understand this is, you know, there's a specific group we're targeting this for. It's a small group. And, you know, we're happy to have you as a part of it.
Absolutely.
You know, reach out to us. There's email links on our website too.
Well, you're our tribe.
Yeah.
The people who are listening to this.
And we love chatting with our tribe. Coming up down the road, working on some more interviews, some of my Twitter connections. I'm going to give a shout out to Channel of the Living Dead on YouTube, folks.
Oh, yeah.
Go visit my man.
It's great.
He's awesome. He's had some interviews. He's also interviewed Hilton and Kyle.
Mm-hmm.
They're interviewing a lot of indie film horror. It's all about horror. He's in a horror community.
Yeah.
So we're a little bit broader in the B movie spectrum. But yeah, man, Channel of the Living Dead on YouTube. Go subscribe. He's working. It says it right in his thing. You know, and this is one of I want to mention it because I reached out to him when he just commented on a post that I put, and I always look who's commenting, right? And I looked, and it just says right there, he's an ex-con just trying to build something. And I just wrote to him, I'm like, yeah, that's fucking ballsy, man. Putting that right out there, that's awesome. You know, so hey, he's doing it, and he's doing well, and I would like you to go check him out as well. You know, check his videos, check out some of his interviews. So yeah, man, if you're listening, power to you, my friend.
Okay.
All right.
So
We're going to roll out of here.
we are.
I know it's gone a long episode, but guess what, folks? Don't care. It's our podcast.
Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you so much.
We will come back at you, talking at you next week.
Yes.
I'm Danny.
I'm Jim.
Good night.